I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with a couple repurchases. I did go ahead and get 2 more of the e.l.f. Brow Lift applicators because I feel like mine are always dirty and it's just easy to bulk wash them and then have a fresh one like for the whole week. And they're pretty inexpensive, so I got 2 more of these right here. And it's kind of a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills applicator, but it's really good. So I just put mine at a little angle here. This is the one that I used today, and I like to use it with the e.l.f. Brow Soap. It's been my favorite brow kind of lamination product and what I've been using in my brows for the most part. And I like the smaller spoolie as well, and then you have got the spatula end to kind of smooth the brow hairs to the skin. So I got 2 more of these. Again, I think they're like only $4, so pretty inexpensive compared to the Anastasia one. And then I picked up 2 more of the Wet n Wild Bare Focus clarifying finishing powders in the shade Translucent. I prefer the translucent a little bit to the shade light because it doesn't give my skin any extra coloring of any sort like the light version does. So I had used up my translucent, so I got 2 more of these, and I really like to use these when my skin's kind of having breakouts and stuff, and it does a really good job of setting the skin. And I do think that it helps because it's got some witch hazel and stuff in there to kind of minimize breakouts when I do get some. So I really like this powder from Wet n Wild. There's only what is it, 0.27 ounces of product, so I feel like I go through these pretty quickly. The pan is thin, so I think the product itself is a little bit like heavier in terms of weight. Anyway, I do go through them pretty quickly, but it's a nice inexpensive powder from the drugstore. And then when I was in Target, I seen this really cute display for some I Heart Revolution and Dr. Seuss collaboration products. So I just got the one. It looked like the color story that would kind of suit me the most. So I got the Green Eggs and Ham Shadow Palette. This is what the box looks like, and this guy here is made in China, and then the Wet n Wild powders are made in Mexico. So this is what it looks like right here, and there's 0.04 ounces of product times 8 shades, so you're getting a decent amount of product in here as well. And then here is the actual packaging. It's a hard plastic, and it's got the Dr. Seuss Green Eggs and Ham on there, which I think is really cute. So this one here is actually a standalone for me. I can get away with using this deeper brown in the crease even though it's a shimmer, and it's a pretty decent little palette. So there's a mirror in there. It's just a really cute one. I think there were 3 versions of this available in the store. So I'll go ahead and give you guys some swatches of this guy. And I want to say, I think these were $10 at Target is where I found this one. And then the bottom row. The shimmer shades almost have like a creaminess to them that gives that really nice like shine. So that one is the I Heart Revolution and Dr. Seuss Green Eggs and Ham palette. And then I placed an order on the Colourpop website for some palettes and then a blush. They came out with this collection. I can't remember the official name, but it's like the One and Done, and it's kind of a Western themed collection, and I thought they should have used to like put some horses on here instead of a horseshoe. I got the pressed powder blush in Prairie Air, and this has got 0.21 ounces of product and made in the USA. It's a cardboard packaging, and it's just a really pretty cool tone pink shade. It is a matte blush as well, and if I were to compare it to anything, on the cheeks, it really reminds me of the Dior Skin, the Glow. It's like a universal pink shade, at least the original one was. That's what this reminds me of. So I think that had been sold out for a while, the Dior blush. It's like the Glow Pink or something like that. The Dior one is actually one of my favorite blushes in my collection. But this is a pretty nice dupe right here. So I got this guy. It's got the cute packaging and everything, but no horses. So that's the Prairie Air blush right there. And I also got the pressed powder palette in One and Done. So this guy's got a total of 0.44 ounces of product across 12 shades. Same style of packaging as the blush. And then this has got the larger pans in it, but they're more shallow, so kind of the same amount of product as the smaller, deeper pans. right there. And this is actually the eyeshadow palette that I have got on my eyes today, and I've worn it quite a few times. And I get on with Colourpop shadows really well. And this palette and the next ones I'm going to show you are no exception. I really enjoy using them. This one is a standalone for me as well. So nice array of mattes and shimmer shades in here. No Super Shocks and no pressed glitters in this one. And again, this is the palette that I've got on today. And these are also magnetized if you want to pull the shadows out. And then the bottom row here. So there are the swatches right there of the Colourpop One and Done pressed powder palette right there. And then I also got the Rock Candy pressed powder palette. It's one of their larger palettes that has 30 shades in it. This one's got a total of 33 grams or 1.16 ounces of product. Again, all Colourpop products are made in the USA. And then it's got like this texturized feel to it, faux matte kind of feel. And then inside, this is definitely a one and done for me, but it's a really cool tone palette. If I could change anything, I would have not put the pressed glitters in there. There's quite a bit of glitter, and if you put them over a glitter glue, you can make them work. I just prefer kind of my glitters separately if I were to use glitter. But there are some really pretty shimmer shades in here and some really pretty mattes. Browns, kind of berries, some deeper shades, a little bit of warmth. This is a really pretty palette. Again, the only shades I probably won't use are those glitter shades. Let me give you guys a couple swatches of these. Some of the shiny shades in here are just stunning. No Super Shocks, but again, you've got those pressed glitters. Look at how pretty those are. Just super shiny. Do a couple more of these shiny shades. I'm not going to swatch the glitters. I really have a heck of a time getting those glitters off when I like swatch the rest of the makeup in the video. They're like all over my arm. But these are all still shimmer shades. And then let's give you some of the matte shades. Do a couple more of these more cool toned ones. This kind of berry brown. So there are a couple of the swatches from the Rock Candy palette. And again, I really like the color story in this one. Look at how pretty those shiny shades are. And then I also got their Gettin' Fresh Pressed Powder palette, which I believe is their latest launch, and then also their latest 30 pan palette. And this is such a pretty palette for spring. I've worn this palette quite a few times since I've gotten it, and the tones on there are just like, Feelin' Fresh is a proper name for this palette because it's very fresh and it looks really fresh on the eyes because of the tones in here, and I really like this palette as well. There aren't any pressed glitters in this one, and there aren't any Super Shocks in this one either. So let's give you some swatches again, kind of like how I did the other one. It's really hard for me to fit like 30 shades down my arm and show them properly, but let's do some of these shimmers. They're just really pretty. Then let's get some of these green ones. And these really pretty browns. Again, with the shine, they're so shiny. Just a really, really beautiful color story and some beautiful shimmers in there. And then also some really stunning mattes. So let's do this kind of coral shade. And this one, maybe this guy right here. Then we'll do a couple more of these kind of deep shades. This really pretty deep green looks stunning in the crease. I think I use that shade almost every time I use this palette. Yeah, I just adore, absolutely adore the color story in this one, especially for like spring, summer, because it's a very fresh fresh looking color story, and I feel like every time that I use it I feel like my eye look looks fresh. So I'm feeling fresh. And then I also got their bundle of their latest 10 pan palettes, which are in square pans. So this guy has got a total of 0.49 ounces of product in it, and this is the cool toned one in Twist of Slate. Again, this one's got some really pretty shimmers in it, as well as some mattes, and it's a pretty cool toned palette. These are also magnetized in there. One thing that I didn't realize was there was a cream kind of primer shade in there. So the first shade in the palette, so in this one it'd be this guy, it's a cream that's like a primer, and they do kind of feel and perform like a concealer primer, which is what I do use, so I can get those to work pretty decently. But I didn't realize that when I bought these, that one of the shades was a cream kind of primer. So that's this shade right here. Just wait till you see how pretty some of these shimmer shades are. Like, they're just so shiny. So again, that's the primer kind of shade. And these next ones. And then these last two. So that one there is the Twist of Slate from Colourpop. And the other one is Set in Stone, which is a warmer color story. 0.49 ounces of product in this guy as well. And then here is your primer shade. This is also a standalone palette for me too. And these next guys. So yeah, 4 shimmers and a primer on top, and then 5 mattes on the bottom in both of these 2 palettes. And these last 2. Really pretty warm one there. So that one is the Set in Stone pressed powder palette from Colourpop. And believe it or not, that is everything that I got in that I purchased this week. I've just kind of been super busy, and I need to just slow my roll and get online and check out Ulta and Sephora and stuff, because there are some new blushes that came out, and then House Labs recently launched on Sephora. So there are some items I want to pick up. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But in the meantime, I did get in 2 PR packages from brands I absolutely adore. And the first one is from Flower Nose, which I am just beside myself that they sent me over PR. I've been talking about them for quite a while, but they recently launched an international website. I used to purchase from 2 other websites, Alpha Beauty and Chic Decent were where I was ordering them before. Now they have an international website where you can purchase their products, and there are some in this collection that they sent over that I I'm gonna need one to use and one to look at. So this is their new Flower Nose Unicorn series. So they came out with a unicorn series. I think it was before I discovered them, and I picked up the pieces that I was able to from that collection. There was a loose powder with this case with a unicorn on the top that I really wanted. But it was sold out everywhere. Anyway, this is the second kind of version of their unicorn series, and this is what the packaging looks like of the products that came in the collection. There are 2 perfumes as well, but those aren't on the website, and I believe it probably has something to do with like shipping fragrances or something like that overseas and stuff. I know fragrance can be a little finicky with shipping, so I think that's probably why. But the bottles on the perfume, really, really pretty. Flower Nose makes some of my absolute favorite setting powders. They're like the prettiest, most finely milled, undetectable powders I've ever used. I've got one from the Unicorn series that I'm going to show you in a minute underneath my eyes today, and it almost feels like a pressed version of the loose Unicorn or the Circus series powder that I've mentioned before. This guy right here, I've got some in the cap. But the powder actually feels like a pressed version of this, and I've got it underneath my eyes today. So let me start with that one. And this one is like kind of like the universal one, and it's translucent. So it's the shade Edelweiss, and there's 6 grams of product in here. Wait till you see this packaging. It is so pretty. That is what the packaging looks like. And it says on the cover, all your dreams will come true, like right through there. So this one's got a blue tint, and the other formulation has got a purple tint. There is a puff that comes in the compact as well. This is what the little puff looks like in there. And then there was the most beautiful embossing. I haven't really used the other powder as much as this one so that you can still see the embossing. But there was a unicorn embossed in the powder. For what it's worth, I'll swatch this, but maybe you can even hear like the smoothness of this powder. Again, it feels like this feels like a pressed version of the Circus series powder. It's just so finely milled and undetectable underneath the eyes, and it sets really beautifully. So I have got this underneath my eyes today. One thing is there are other pressed powders in the Bear series, and then also what is this collection right here? I can't remember the name of this collection, but I've been using a pressed powder from that collection for quite a while to set underneath my eyes. Those ones are refillable, and these ones are not. So when I use this up, I'm gonna attempt to pull it out and make it magnetized, because the size of the pan is the same size of the pan that is refillable. And this compact is so beautiful that I don't think I'd be able to throw it away. So I want to make it, refillable, but you can keep your little puff down on the bottom there as well. It's so pretty. So that's the Edelweiss one, and that's what I have underneath my eyes to set. And then the other formulation is porcelain, and this one's got more of a base to it compared to the Edelweiss, so like to set your whole entire face, and it's an oil control formula, but it's very, very comfortable on the skin. I haven't used it extensively because I wanted you guys to see the embossing. So this one's got the purple in it right there. So this again is the porcelain shade, and then this is the embossing. Let me zoom in here once. It's just really pretty. So I'm probably going to end up ordering some backups of these. They're just stunning. Oh, there went my puff. So I'll kind of swatch the bottom here, and you'll be able to see that there's more color, more base to this powder compared to the Edelweiss shade. So it's got a little more brightness and stuff like that. It's very smooth and very soft, but there's more base to it compared to the other one. So that is the porcelain shade. Oh, look at the embossing. It's so pretty, so intricate. The collection also came with 6 blushes. Same thing with the packaging on these. They're just so pretty, and they're weighted. They're not like, they don't feel like super cheap or anything like that. They have a nice weight to them as well, and they're so pretty. So each one of the blushes has got a different kind of coloring in the back too. I haven't used every single one of these. I'm having a I'm having a hard time ruining the embossing, but let me start out with the one that I've got on my cheeks, which is the shade number 5, and it's called Unripe Peach. If I forgot to mention, Flower Nose is a Chinese-based brand, so everything is made in China. So again, this is the one that I've got on my cheeks today. And with this embossing, again, super intricate. It's very, it's petty, but it's very difficult for me to ruin the embossing in here. And these blushes, all 6 of these blushes are pretty fair. There's one that's got a little bit more depth to it, but that's kind of the brand's aesthetic. There's like this glow from within type of situation with the blushes, but they all run really, really light. I think if anything, they could do a little bit darker shades to suit more skin tones. But again, that's kind of the makeup style and aesthetic that they have. Very wispy, very soft, very easy to use blushes. Some of them are almost like give a glowy highlight. Some of the blushes actually give more like a bit of a light highlight on my skin. That's how light some of them are. But this is the one that I have got on my cheeks today. And it's just like a hint of color on the cheeks. So that one there is number 5, Unripe Peach. And if you look at like their promo pictures and stuff like on Instagram or their website, you'll kind of see the makeup style that they have on the models. Again, it's like color from within situation. So it kind of explains the shade range, if you will. And then we've got, this one here is number 3, Sakura Avenue. It's a pretty baby doll pink. And when I use this one, I do got to build it up a bit. There you can see the color a little bit better. And it just looks like this faint hint of pink that shows through my skin when I put this one on. So that one is number 3, Sakura Avenue, right there. And then we've got number 4, Honey Lemonade. This one's got a bit of a peach to it. Another really light one too. So you can really see right there just how light these are. So that is the Honey Lemonade. And then we've got number 1, Snowy Pearl. This would be for the fairest of the fair. This is a very light pink powder. I might actually attempt to use it as an under eye setting powder as well, because it is very smooth, very finely milled, and it's got that bit of pink, so it might be quite brightening on my skin tone. I'm just ruining the embossing. So that one right there is number 1, Snowy Pearl. And then we've got number 2, Crystal Luna. And this is another one I might try to use kind of as an under eye setting powder. It's a beautiful pale lavender shade. And if I didn't mention already, all of these are matte blushes as well. Oh, you guys, it pains me. That's why I'm swatching on the bottom, because I just want to keep like the unicorns intact. But just a very pale lavender shade, which again, I think this one might be quite brightening underneath the eyes as well to set. So that one is number 2, Crystal Luna, right there. And then the last one is number 6, Frosty Rose. So this is the deepest blush out of the 6 right here. And it is a dusty rose shade. So that one right there is number 6, Frosty Rose. And those are the blushes. Again, with the embossing and the packaging, it's just... Flower Nose just makes me really happy about makeup. Like the whole brand, the whole aesthetic, the packaging, the products. They're just really delicate and beautiful, and The collection also came out with 2 hand mirrors that are kind of a medium size. So there's a purple one and then also a pink one with the unicorn theming on it. And these mirrors, you know how, hopefully I'm not the only one, you know how you look in some mirrors and you're just like, it's just not a good mirror. You don't feel cute looking in it. These are really pretty mirrors. Like, I look in them and I feel like my makeup looks like it looks when I look in a normal mirror, if that makes any sense. So, not to blind you there, but it's got the little star on top, and then that's what the mirrors look like. So there's a pink one and a purple one right here, and they're just the cutest. There's also 2 brushes. One I've been using for the blush. There's a pink and a purple of these as well. And they're like a flat top kabuki, but they're very wispy. Like when I first seen them, they look a little like wild, but they make sense to do a really airy like blush or dusting of powder on the skin. And they pick up the blush really well too. So you've got the purple one and then the pink one, and it says Flower Nose. These are kind of a lighter weight, wispy blush for kind of like delicate placing of powder, if you will. But they are quite soft brushes. So this is the pink one, and it says Flower Nose on the handle. And then here is the purple one right here. And they are just dandy though. Just dandy little brushes there. And then lastly from the collection, there are 9 of the Flower Nose Unicorn Series Crystal Lip Glosses. And these are super shiny, and they've got a slight sweet smell to them. And they feel kind of like a moisturizing oil, but they're substantial and they don't slide all over the lips. They're a really interesting formula. It's like a gloss hydrating lip oil hybrid, in my opinion. So this is the box packaging on those ones right there. Again, with the packaging on this collection, just stunning. So there are 3 in each color. So these ones have got the white bottom to them, and then you've got the unicorn on there. I just can't even with the packaging, I'm telling you. So this first one is J09. These right here. That one's J09. And then we've got J08. So that one is J08. Yeah, they got like a slightly sweet scent. And then we've got J07. So that one's J07 right there. So those are the 3 in the white packaging. And then these 3 have got the pink packaging. So we've got J01 right here, which is a really pretty nude. So that one is J01 right there. And then we've got J02, just a little bit more of a pinky nude. Probably this particular set with the pink are probably the ones that I will get the most use out of. But that one's J03. And then the third one with the pink is J03 right here. So J1, 2, and 3 right there with the pink packaging, and you've got the unicorn handle. It's just really nice. And the last 3 have got the purple packaging. Same style with the purple bottom. So we've got J04 right here, which is kind of more berries. So there's J04. And then we've got J05 right there. And then the last one is J06. So the purple ones have the pink undertone, and then the pink ones are more the nudes, and then the white are the deepest kind of reds, kind of red browns in there. But those are the 9 lip glosses that came in the collection. I also forgot to mention that these do leave a little bit of a stain, so I'm going to go ahead and on camera, I already wiped that one off, wipe these off so you can see kind of a little bit of the residual coloring that those leave behind. So there's a little bit of a stain effect from them as well. And they're not all the same kind of stains either. They got a different, you know, tone to them. And an absolute huge thank you to Flower Nose for sending over that collection. You guys know I'm such a huge fan of the brand. When I first discovered them, I think I bought almost every like face and eye product I could get my hands on because that's how much like I love the packaging, and the actual products, especially their face powders, are so beautiful. I've actually, like I showed you guys this one here in this compact. This is the second pressed one like this that I have gone through of that for setting underneath the eyes. And I've used them to set all over the face as well, and it's just a very undetectable powder, but I feel like I go through them so fast, so I savor them for underneath the eyes. But anyway, a huge thank you to Flower Nose for sending me over their latest unicorn collection. It is really beautiful. And lastly, the other brand that sent me over a PR package is the brand Florasis, which is another Chinese-based makeup brand that does some of the most beautiful, intricate packaging and embossing in their products. Like, these two brands are they're just stunning as a brand as a whole. So this here is their newest palette. It's the Flowery Makeup Relief palette is what it's called. This is the box packaging for this, and I did use this palette today. It pained me because, again, the embossing is so like detailed, and like you start to use it, it goes away. So anyway, I've got this palette on as a bronzer and a highlighter on my face today. So again, this is a Chinese-based makeup brand, so I believe they are made in China. Most of the writing on the Florasis stuff is in Mandarin. So let's peel off the front here for you guys so you can see how pretty the packaging is. It's like a rubber with it's got the peacocks in the background right there. And then this palette here has got a highlighter, a blush, kind of a face powder, and then a bronzer. So I have got on the highlighter and then also the bronzer shade today. Just a really beautiful baked gelée formulation, and it's softer. So even though it's baked gelée, I can use a soft brush with it. Like I used the Wayne Goss #1 brush with the bronzer, and it picked up really nicely. So the bronzer is a matte, the blush is a matte, and then this powder over here is also kind of a matte face powder, and then the highlighter is just a really pretty sheen. I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills stick highlighter that I hauled as a base for the highlighter just on my cheeks today. Otherwise, the other points that I put highlighter are just this guy. It's really a pretty shiny baked gelée highlighter. I know, right? It's so hard to ruin the embossing in these products. Oh. I absolutely love that bronze kind of contour shade, especially on my cool skin tone. It just works really well. There's like no orange in it. There's no like red in it. It's just like a really pretty shade. So those are the swatches right there. This face powder, so I'm kind of getting shiny with these lights. I'll just use this little brush here and kind of take down some of the shine. And it does have a bit of a base to it too, so it will brighten up a little bit as well. Just kind of take down some shine and give some added brightness on there. But just another really stunning palette from Florasis, and that is the Flowery Makeup Relief palette right there. And again, I do have the highlighter and the bronze contour on today. They also sent over 2 of their Peony Rosy blushes. So this first one is the blush number 10. And this is what the packaging looks like on those. These have got 4 grams of product. Let's peel the little sticker off there. Really pretty packaging on this as well. And this is a kind of cool toned rose shade. So let's kind of do like this. They like, to the touch, they have almost like a Super Shock kind of feel to them. They're a little like putty-like, if you will. Let me give you a better swatch here. So you can see that it smooshes around. So there are the kind of the blush shades in that one, and that one is the shade number 10 in Peony Rosy blush right there. Yeah, it's definitely one of them putty kind of style products. And then the other shade is shade number 11, and this is more of a nude. I haven't worn these just yet, but I have really been enjoying a lot of Super Shock formulations from Colourpop because they blend over the skin so nicely. So like if I just swatch this and go like this, it just has this really pretty kind of hint of color to it. But that is the shade 11 right there, and there's number 10 in their Peony Blushes from Florasis. They also sent over the gorgeous Peach Blossom Silk Powder. So I've got this in a couple different compacts, and this is a newer compact, I believe. So it's got this really pretty white packaging that's, if I pull the sticker off, it looks like that, and it's like got this kind of 3D texture to it. Just a really pretty compact. And this is another powder that's very, very finely milled, so you could use it. I already put powder on, otherwise I could have tried to. Let's do the T-zone with this powder. There's a really pretty puff inside the compact as well. And then a little protector in there. But let's put this as well to kind of take down some shine. And like these powders, I really feel like you could just keep putting them on and they never look heavy or cakey because they're just so fine. It's also a really pretty powder for setting underneath the eyes too. This powder for me feels just a little bit more dry underneath the eyes than the Flower Nose ones, but it does a really good job of taking down shine again. Like I think you can see it takes down shine without taking away like radiance, or it doesn't make your skin look dull, if that makes sense. So you can see if I put it on, it takes away like any grease that's coming through. But my skin doesn't look like flat, you know. So that there is the Peach Blossom Silk Powder. Again, it comes in a couple different compacts, and I think this is their newest one. And then here's the pretty puff. And then lastly from Florasis, they sent over the Flower Nourishing Cleansing Oil. I have not used this yet because I'm working through some products already in my bathroom, so I didn't want to like open it yet. But again, one of the prettiest package like for a cleansing oil. It's so pretty. It's gonna be something I'm gonna probably try to refill when I use it up with another like cleansing oil, because that's how pretty it is. So this is the box packaging right here. And then here is the bottle for the cleansing oil. And if you look kind of closely, the piece that goes into the bottle's got like a leaf on the inside. I mean, it's just so pretty. These two brands, Flower Nose and Florasis, does some of the prettiest stuff. Every time I look at their stuff, I always want to like buy one to use and buy one to look at because it's hard to use them because they're so pretty. But anyway, that is the cleansing oil right there, which again, I think this is a new product from the brand, and it's just really pretty. Really, really pretty bottle. I probably am going to refill it with, I don't know, maybe even hand soap when I use it up, but probably another cleansing oil. I'll dump another one in there because it's just so nice. And a huge thank you to Florasis for sending over those beautiful products. And that is actually everything that I have for my video today. I'm sorry if I feel kind of in a rush. I need to go. Like my mom's texting me to like, hurry up, we gotta go take a horse somewhere. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.